Is this the face of evil? Welcome back to Bible Bears, guys. I'm Ryder Cullison. That was a picture of an abortion doctor named Leah Torres. Now, she's recently in the news because she's had her medical license temporarily suspended by the Alabama Board of Medical Examiners, allegedly maybe during the application process before she was appointed. She provided some fraudulent information, and they've also accused her of some unprofessional conduct. Now, there needs to be an investigation. I'm not condemning her yet. I'm not convicting her yet. I don't know if she's actually guilty of these things. She claims on her end, or her lawyers claim, that there is a misunderstanding. Perhaps there is. I don't know yet. We'll wait to see what the outcome of that is. She's in the news, though, because we have been reminded of some perhaps questionable tweets she made in the past. And perhaps this is the unprofessional conduct that the Alabama Board of Medical Examiners is alluding to. Now, what kind of unprofessional conduct? She made a tweet a couple years ago. She said she did not perform abortions for the money, to which somebody replied, "So why do you do it then? Do you like infanticide? Do you hear their heartbeats at night?" Now, Leah responded by saying, "You know fetuses can't scream, right? I transect the cord first, so there's no opportunity, even if they're far enough along to have a larynx." She continues by saying, "I'm also a uterus ripper outer," in reference to performing hysterectomies. What she's doing here is justifying abortion by suggesting an abortion is no different than performing a medical procedure such as a hysterectomy. In essence, an abortion is like removing an organ from a woman's body in order to promote her life or save her life. Now, obviously, there was a lot of backlash to those comments because it appears that she is saying a baby cannot scream because I cut her vocal cords or his vocal cords. Clarification, what she was really talking about was she cuts the umbilical cord first. Like, that's much of a difference. Someone retweeted her tweet, basically saying, "Hey, I think it's a good tweet." She said, "Hey, thank you. I'm sorry people can't see past their blind hatred and ignorance in order to view a greater good." So we really have some good insight in here into how she thinks. She believes abortions are for the greater good. I don't know what that greater good is, but if she views abortions as simply removing an organ from a woman's body in order to promote her health, then that must be the greater good of which she speaks. She does not see a baby as a separate living entity from the mother. She thinks it's an organ attached to the mother, perhaps much like a cancer doctor might view a tumor. Person's life's in danger, they have a tumor, we must remove this clump of cells in order to promote the life of this human being. Does anyone ever accuse cancer doctors of being inhumane? Now, I've heard their bedside manner isn't too great. They are pretty sterile when it comes to emotions. Overall, we view cancer doctors as healthcare providers, right? Leah Torres views the baby pretty much as just another clump of cells that needs to be removed in order to promote the woman's life. I personally do not view a baby as simply a clump of cells, especially if you watched any of Abby Johnson's comments at the RNC from her time at Planned Parenthood. She said on one of the ultrasounds during the abortion, you could see the baby trying to resist, basically trying to fight for its life. That's crazy. If you watch one of my past videos from Dr. Levitano, he gave testimony to Congress about what it's like to perform a second or third trimester abortion. It is chilling.
You know, earlier on I described stacking up body parts on the side of the table. It's not to, gross people out, to use a simple term. When you do an abortion, you need to keep inventory. You have to make sure you get 2 arms and 2 legs and all the pieces. If you don't, your patient's going to come back infected, bleeding, or dead. So I soldiered on and finished that abortion. And I know it sounds, as I said, hard for people to believe, but I'm telling you straight up my experience. You know, after over 1,200 abortions, first and second trimester up to 24 weeks and all the rest of it, and being very dedicated to it, for the first time in my life, I really looked at that pile of body parts on the side of the table. And I didn't see her wonderful right to choose, and I didn't see all the money I just made. All I could see was somebody's son or daughter. And I stopped doing late-term abortions after that, and several months later stopped doing all abortions.
The huge divide between pro-life and pro-choice is pro-life sees that they're really fighting for the life of the baby. Pro-choice keeps saying we're fighting for the rights of the woman. Someone else also tweeted at her and said, hey, look, I wonder what God thinks of what you're doing. And to which Leah replied, God performs way more abortions than I do, so there's that. How do you feel about that? Leave your comments below. Now, in response to being temporarily suspended, Leah threw out this tweet. Picture Beyonce smashing a car and says, good morning, patriarchy. So I suppose she is blaming the male-dominated patriarchy for her fraudulent accusations or her unprofessional conduct. What I really want to know is, or better understand, is this really the mindset of all abortion doctors? I suppose it has to be. I suppose if you are, basically you're dismantling a baby within the uterus, especially if you're doing a second or third trimester abortion. If you listen again, I'm referencing Abby Johnson's comments at the RNC. She said during one of the abortions that they were providing, the doctor said, as he was sucking out the baby, he said, beam me up, Scotty. And of course, in reference to Star Trek. How can you be so callous or insensitive? These individuals must be cut from a different cloth. Is there sociopathy or psychopathy involved here? Have they totally muted all their senses? Do they really just look at abortions as this greater good, that they are helping the world, that they are really heroes in effect, even though they are destroying the baby's life? Because I suppose since the baby hasn't actually been born, they haven't started life yet. The woman, why destroy her life for this clump of cells? I'm really just trying to understand here. I'd like to have your comments below. Personally, I think these comments are beyond callous. I think they're just evil to say, hey, you know a baby can't scream, right? It's distasteful. It really exemplifies a total lack of morals. That's all I have. I think that's enough. Guys, if you like this video, click like, subscribe, and share. Let's get the word out. Let's start a conversation, because I would like to know more about how abortion doctors really think. Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you. Have a blessed day.